I can find whole number quotients and remainders. Count forward and backward by 4s to 40 and 6s to 60. So go ahead and pause and count. Okay, review yesterday's math. Solve those problems. How close can we get to 20 without going over? 3 times what? 3 times 5 is 15. 3 times 6 is 18. 3 times 7 is 21. Oops, too big. So we know our quotient will be 6 because, let me see if I can get a smaller pencil here. We know our quotient's going to be 6 because 6 times 3 is 18. How many more do we need to get to 20? 20 minus 18 is 2, so it'd be 6, remainder 2. Okay, go ahead and solve the other problems. Use a place value chart if you need to. You can use number bonds, whatever works for you. Mallory's family is going to buy oranges. The Grand Market sells oranges at 3 pounds for 87 cents. How much does 1 pound of oranges cost at Grand Market? So that's your application problem. Go ahead and solve it. Okay, you could do 87 divided by 3. Do you have to do it this way? No, you can choose your own method. Okay, how many times does 3 go into 8? 8 tens would be 2. Oh, that wouldn't be right, would it? That'd be right. 2 tens are 20. That leaves me with 2 tens left over. 27, because I have 2 tens left over. Trying to erase the 7 here is too long. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to take my 2 tens, bring it over here. 27 divided by 3 is 9. Add it together, equals 29. Let's see if we're right. If this way is confusing to you, do you have to do it this way? Nope. I've shown you now, I think, at least 2 or 3 other methods that you could use. You could draw a place value chart. You could do long division. You can make a tape diagram. Whatever works for you. So 87, let's put it over here, 87 times 3. What am I doing 87 times 3? 29 times 3, because we're going to take our quotient times our divisor. 3 times 9 is 27. 3 times 2 is 6, plus 2 is 8. Is that my dividend? Yes, it is. So, it's how much does 1 pound of oranges cost? 1 pound. Did you You know, the abbreviation for pound is LB. 1 pound cost 29 cents. And there's your answer. Okay, solve using the place value chart and long division. Check to make sure your answer is correct. Go ahead and pause. Answer the question. Don't forget to do this part. This is very important. Check. Check to make sure your answer is correct. Remember to check, you multiply the quotient times the divisor, and you'll get the dividend. Okay, I've gone ahead and solved this problem. Now, when I divided 57 by 3, that left me with 2 10s left over. So I had to move them over. And when I moved them over, I moved over 20 ones. Because 2 10s is the same as 20 ones. And then I went ahead and divided it down. So, this is what your answer should look like. Let's see if we get that same thing doing long division. 3 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 3 is 3. 5 minus 3 is 2. Bring down the 7. 3 goes into 27. 9 times. 9 times 3 is 27. Subtract. I have nothing as a remainder. Let's check and see if we're right. We're going to take the quotient times the divisor. 9 times 3 is 27. 3 times 1 is 3 plus 2 is 5. Did I get my dividend? Yes, I did. That's the same answer. Okay, go ahead and solve this problem. Now, if you notice, I only have 3 blanks. What should you do before you even solve this problem? I only have 3 levels of division. How many do I need? What's my divisor? So go ahead and add the amounts of blanks you need and then solve. Okay, here's how mine looks. When I divided, I had 1 with a remainder of 3 10s, so I had to move them over to bundle them. And when I moved over 3 10s, I had 31s. There's a reason this one is in red. Let's solve it and see what our answer is. 5 goes into 8 one time. 1 times 5 is 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. Bring down the 6. 5 goes into 36. 7 times. 7 times 5 is 35. We have a 17 remainder 1. If you notice, each row right here has 1. Each row right here has 7. And we have a remainder of 1. So let's check our work to see if we're correct. 17. Our quotient is 17. Our divisor is 5, so we're going to multiply it. 7 times 5 is 35. 5 times 1 is 5 plus 3 is 8. 85. We need to get to 86. Well, we have that remainder of 1, so we need to add the remainder. 5 plus 1 is 6. 8 plus nothing is 8. There we go. Okay. Let's try this next one using mental math. You've unbundled 10s and you've written remainders in the quotient. Now take a look at this problem. What's tricky here? 74 divided by 8. Let's just take a look at that. Now this one would be interesting because if I put 74 in a place value chart, 8 doesn't go into 7. So I'd probably have to, I don't know what I would do. Maybe move all 7 over to the ones place, which would give me 70 ones. Let's see what it tells us to do. We can divide 7 tens. We can't divide 7 tens into 8 groups. We'll think of our 8 facts. I'm thinking of an 8's fact whose product is close to 74. Can you guess? So, what is 8's fact whose product is close to 74? Eight times 8 is 64. 8 times 9 is 72. 8 times 10 is 80. Which one was closest to 74 without going over? So 8 times 9 was it divided by 8 or divided by 7? Divided by 8. Okay. I kind of like using this method to do it. Remember, you use a method that works for you. Could you use mental math on this? For sure. 70 divided by 8, we can't do it. So we're going to take our 7 tens, we're going to move them over here and add it in front of that number. 74 divided by 8. We said the closest we can get is 9. 9 times. That gives us 72. What's 74 minus 72? How close am I to 74? I'm 2 away. Let's go over here and solve and see if we're correct. 74 times 8. And I did it again. 9 times 8. I just took the dividend and multiplied it by the divisor, which that does not work. Okay, so 9 times 8 is 72 plus 2 equals 74. Now, do you see how I keep messing up when I do that? I keep messing up when I try to check my answer when I set up like this. So if there's a method you use that you keep messing up and you can't get the right answer, then you probably want to try a new method. So probably the next time I do this, I don't want to use this method because it keeps confusing me. So think about a method that works for you and choose that method. Now, if I have a problem written out like long division, that's how I've learned how to do it. So I can easily look at it and say, oh, okay, I'm going to multiply this quotient times the divisor. Okay, so if there's a method that you think is easy, but you keep getting the wrong answer, you need to change your method. You need to try a different way to solve. One that allows you to get the correct answer every time. Okay, so I already did this. Solve using the standard algorithm, check your quotient and remainder by using multiplication and addition. Okay, let's look here. 46 divided by 2. 2 goes, 2 goes into 4. My goodness. I'm having a terrible time writing today. Okay, let's try this lower. 46 divided by 2. 2 goes into 4 2 times. 2 times 2 is 4. Subtract 0. Bring down your 6. How many times is 2 going to 6? 3 times 2 times 3 is 6. Subtract 0. So let's take our quotient, which is 23, times our divisor, which is 2. You have to do this on tonight's assignment because it says to check. 23 times 2, 2 times 3 is 6, 2 times 2 is 4. Is that our dividend? Yes, that means 23 is the right answer. Now don't forget, let me find one real fast. That might have a remainder. Okay, let's do 89 divided by 6. 89 divided by 6. 6 goes into 8 one time. 1 times 6 is 6. Subtract 2, bring down the 9. 6 goes into 29. 4 times 6 is 24. So we have a remainder of 5. Let's check our answer. 14 times 6. 4 times 6 is 24. Carry the 2. 6 times 1 is 6. Plus 2 is 84. Don't forget to add the remainder. Plus 5. 4 plus 5 is 9. 89. 14 remainder 5 is the right answer because I checked it. You should never, ever, ever, ever get a division problem wrong again because you now know how to check your work and you need to always check to make sure that you're correct. So go ahead and finish the rest of the problem set.